When the sun sets over the savannas of Africa, for many, a dangerous time begins. This nocturnal drama between hunters and the hunted has remained unknown to most of us. Cutting-edge thermal cameras now reveal what has remained hidden for so long. In the darkness, a contest of the senses begins, a matter of life or death. Is the night really so beneficial for predators? Or is hunting just as difficult then as it is by day? In any case, competition between them is merciless. The Masai Mara in Kenya. A landscape that characterizes Africa's diversity, one of the most species-rich regions of the continent. The reserve is one of the last places on Earth in which 4 large predators live side by side. This is only possible due to the abundance of prey here. There are more than enough typical animals of the savanna within the protected area. Similar to the herbivores, the carnivores have become significantly specialized. Leopards prefer bushland. It provides them with sufficient cover, enabling them to stalk their prey unnoticed, whether at night or by day. Cheetahs, on the other hand, will only hunt during the day. Usually, they target their prey from long distances. The decisive factor is an unhampered view. When it comes to a sprint, they have to be able to recognize any obstacles in their way. Dinner, and about time too. It's getting late. While cheetahs avoid darkness, most other hunters are active both night and day. It's slowly cooling down. The large lion family is waiting impatiently for the twilight. The offspring, almost fully grown, are extremely hungry. The 3 mothers have to provide food around the clock to keep all 7 bellies full. The males keep back discreetly. They mostly let the females work for them. They rarely travel together as a pride. Especially females with smaller offspring prefer to roam alone in their territories. The lioness makes herself rare, with her little ones in tow. What does the night have in store for her? One final breather before the darkness demands full concentration. The group of large predators is made complete by spotted hyenas. These are the most numerous hunters in the Mara area and are mostly nocturnal. Hundreds of young and hungry carnivores hope for a highly productive night, that their mothers return in the best of health and continue to provide lots of milk. The hippos are also waiting for night to fall. Their stomachs are rumbling too. Twilight, so close to the equator, is short. The lions will soon be hardly recognizable with a normal camera. But the cats can see the buffalo all the better. The cocky offspring can't resist provoking the old bull, but they lack in experience and strength for a serious attack. He reacts annoyed. The young lions are enjoying themselves. One can soon only guess what is actually happening. In the darkness, a thermal camera is required to make events visible. The heat radiation of the animals draws an image of them, just as visible light does. Warmer body parts appear especially bright. The landscape has also stored the warmth of the sun and radiates eerily. The hippos are behind time and now need to leave if they want to graze. The warm water seemingly makes their bodies glow. The youngsters of the pack enjoy the coolness of the evening. Activity like this is rare during the daytime heat. Once again, the old buffalo shows exactly what he thinks of it all. But the message has obviously made little impact. The hippos appear to attract the interest of the adolescents too. On land, hippos have long been considered loners. Thermal imaging proves that this is not always the case, but groups of this size are nonetheless rare. Almost all of them have wounds or scars which appear as bright spots in the thermal image. Out here, there are hardly any disputes among themselves. It's not worth fighting over a few blades of grass. The young lions have already discovered what it is like with them. The thick-skinned animals have never enjoyed a good game or get-together. Tonight appears to be no exception to the rule. The tumult has alarmed animals from far and wide. For the foreseeable future, there are hardly any prospects of good hunting here. The pride has to move on in the hope of finding unsuspecting prey somewhere in the darkness. The 7 are a heavy burden for the females. They are always hungry and constantly in a playful mood, which thwarts many a hunting attempt. At around 8 in the evening, it is pitch dark. Now, beneath the stars, animals appear that were practically invisible during the day. Aardvarks, for instance, that now set off to find termite mounds. Or spring hares that remind us of small kangaroos. The rodents, which are not related to Australian marsupials, live in colonies with extensive underground burrows. Caution is vital when jackals show up. They can jump extremely far considering their size, and they are incredibly fast. This young leopard male wouldn't say no to a little snack either. Unfortunately, hares are no less nimble than spring hares. But eventually, he finds success in the tall grass. In this part of the Masai Mara, 6 lion males rule over a huge territory, but they are very rarely found together. The leopard should keep his distance. He can't actually see the lions, but the wind carries their scent to him. The 3 are totally unaware of his presence. In the weak starlight, even sensitive cat's eyes can see little in the long shadows of the bushes. Those that at first sense sound or smell have the advantage. The males patrol along a particularly vulnerable flank of their territory, at a creek covered in dense undergrowth. It's ideal territory for a leopard, and he knows just how to move around here. He effortlessly outmaneuvers his massive competitors and then disappears into the scrub. When they notice his tracks, he will be miles away. They all pay particular attention to signs of non-local lions and check for suspicious traces of intruders. Everything seems okay. They mark their territory as a deterrent and give their brothers the all clear. All okay here? How about you? The 6 males are a force to be reckoned with, and they demonstrate this every night. For all lions foreign to these parts, the nightly roaring orgies, audible from miles away, are a clear signal. Keep your distance. The 2 neighboring males are far away. Their territory is much smaller, but the message to their rivals is that much clearer. zebras find the roaring quite useful. After all, it betrays the whereabouts of the enemy. The lioness with the two cubs, on the other hand, finds it reassuring. Her protectors are close by. The family has settled in a shallow valley. The experienced lioness knows that zebra herds often cross a small stream here. She can only guess the position of the herd, but she knows the terrain well. The thermal camera shows us more than the animals can see. It's pitch dark, and the huntress has to rely entirely on her hearing. The sounds of the hooves cover her own movements. She can cast all caution to the wind. Shrouded in darkness, she gets into position within seconds. The zebras are unaware until the end. This time, in the darkness, the advantage was definitely with the huntress, but the struggle for life and death doesn't always go well for the attacker. This night, however, she managed to get the job done. With full bellies, her offspring will be comfortable during the cold and long hours of the African night. It's way past midnight, and the temperature has dropped dramatically. The 7 young lions are no longer interested in playing. Huddled up tight together, they seek mutual warmth. At last, their mothers can now go hunting undisturbed. The cat's ability to see at night is legendary. But first and foremost, they have to rely on their just as brilliant hearing in the almost complete darkness. The humid night air carries sound especially well. They become alerted to the sound of distant hooves. In the blackness, the hunters can move around freely without serious precautionary measures. 2 lionesses remain behind, while the third attempts to reach the other side of the zebra herd. She doesn't seem to have noticed the individual zebras ahead of the herd during their maneuver. Day and night active animals have a reflective layer behind the retina that doubles the light yield of the eyes. This applies both to cats and ungulates. The evolutionary arms race has created a draw. At night, lions can see roughly 6 times better than humans. This doesn't really mean much in starlight, unfortunately. All involved appear to be literally in the dark. Several topis have joined the zebras. Their senses are particularly keen. They notice the lion first. The attacker initially follows the sound of the fast antelope's hooves. But the heavy zebras betray their presence. She immediately changes direction. The zebras have been warned. The small group anxiously listens. They seem not to have grasped the situation, nor has the lioness. She attacks a second time after hearing the sound of hooves. Now it's all down to the waiting two lionesses. The ambush works, but catching a zebra in the dark and at full speed is not the easiest task. The group escapes. They have to continue their search. Not far away, they soon hear promising sounds. Hyenas have spotted newborn calves in a herd of buffalo. There might be something in it for them. The herd has left a cow behind with her calf. But she is not really alone. All the buffaloes in the herd are closely related and stand by one another. The strong bulls are the most dangerous. The attackers have to be very careful in the dark so as not to be trampled on or pierced by their horns. The lionesses don't fare any better than the hyenas. Gradually, ever more defenders from the herd arrive. The calf is carefully shielded, with individual cows keeping the attackers at bay. The defense is akin to a fortress. No chance for the lionesses, unless they were willing to take huge risks.